The Easter ham sat golden in the center of Mom's dining table, surrounded by 18 family members who'd driven in from 3 states. I was arranging deviled eggs on the appetizer table when my brother Derek's voice carried from the living room. "Yeah, she's always asking for help with something," he said, loud enough to be heard over the Predner chatter. "Can't seem to figure things out on her own." I didn't turn around, just kept arranging the eggs in concentric circles the way Mom liked. "What do you mean?" That was Derek's wife, Ashley. Her voice had that eager quality like she was collecting ammunition. "Oh, you know. Calling about her taxes, asking Dad to look at her car. Mom helping her with her resume last year?" Derek laughed. "She's 34 and still needs constant handholding." I set down the last egg tuca bread, walked into the living room where Derek held court on the leather sectional. Ashley beside him, my parents in the matching my sister Monica on the love seat with her husband. "Hey, Sarah," Monica said, noticing me. "We were just talking about, I heard." I sat in the chair by the window, the one no one ever sat in because the spring was broken. "It's fine." Derek's eyebrows went up. "See? Even now, it's fine." That's what she always says when she needs something but doesn't want to ask directly. My mother shifted uncomfortably. "Derek, maybe we should." "No, Mom, she needs to hear this." Derek leaned forward, hands clasped between his knees, in that earnest pose he'd perfected in his fraternity days. "Sarah, you're family. We love you, but you're never going to grow if you keep depending on us for everything." I nodded slowly. "You're right. I do depend on family a lot." "Exactly." Derek sat back, vindicated. "That's the first step, admitting it." "Admitting it." Ashley patted his knee. "You're so good at tough love." The doorbell rang. My aunt Patricia and Uncle Jim with their 3 kids. Then my cousin Vanessa with her boyfriend. By the time everyone settled in for dinner, there were 12 adults and 6 children crammed around the extended dining table, the kids' table set up in the breakfast nook. I'd spent the morning helping Mom prepare the meal, peeling potatoes, trimming green beans, basting the ham every 45 minutes since 6 a.m. Derek had shown up at noon with Ashley and their 2 kids, freshly showered and carrying a store-bought pie. "Sarah," Mom said, as we all found our seats, "you sit at the end near the kitchen in case I need help." I took my assigned seat. Derek sat at the other end, nearest to Dad at the head of the table. Dad stood to say grace. We all bowed our heads, while he thanked God for family, for health, for the food before us. When we looked up, the ham was being passed, serving spoons clinking against ceramic bowls. "So, Derek," Uncle Jim said, loading his plate with scalloped potatoes, "how's the house? You guys settled in yet?" Derek's face lit up. "Man, it's perfect. 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. The master suite is incredible, walk-in closet, soaking tub, the whole thing." "What did you end up paying?" Vanessa's boyfriend asked. "Got it for $485,000. In this market, that's a steal for our neighborhood." Ashley jumped in. "The kitchen has quartz countertops and a gas range. I've already hosted 2 dinner parties." "That's wonderful," Aunt Patricia said. "You 2 have really built something." I ate my green beans. They were perfectly seasoned. I'd made sure of that. "What about you, Sarah?" Uncle Jim turned to me. "Still in that apartment in Riverside?" "Same place. It works for me." Derek snorted. "That's one way to put it. What is it? 800 square feet. 950, I said quietly. "Still?" Derek shook his head. "At some point, you've got to think about building equity, investing in your future. That's what adults do." Monica cut her ham with surgical precision. "Derek, maybe. I'm just saying, I'm trying to help her see the bigger picture." He looked at me. "You could probably afford something if you budgeted better. Stop spending money on I don't know whatever it is. You spend money on." "Sarah helped me move last month," Vanessa said. "Drove 2 hours each way to help me pack." "That's sweet," Ashley said. "But Derek's talking about financial responsibility. It's different." The kids at the other table were laughing about something. One of Derek's daughters, Lily, 7 years old, ran over to show him a drawing she'd made. He pulled her onto his lap, kissed her head, showed the drawing around the table. "Look at this talent! We've got an artist in the family." Everyone cooed appropriately. I'd given Lily her first set of watercolors for her birthday last year. Watched her open them on FaceTime because I hadn't been invited to the party in person. "Just family," Ashley had said. Apparently I'd fallen into some other category. Dad carved into the ham. "This is delicious, honey. You outdid yourself." Mom beamed. "Sarah helped all morning. Couldn't have done it without her." "That's our Sarah," Derek said. "Always helping with the manual labor." "Speaking of which, Dad, I wanted to run something by you. I'm thinking about refinishing the deck this summer. You still have that sander?" They launched into a discussion about power tools and wood stain while I helped Mom bring out the second round of sides. In the kitchen, she squeezed my arm. "Don't pay attention to Derek. He's just..." "It's fine, Mom." She looked at me with that expression I'd seen my whole life. The one that said, "I love you, but I can't defend you." The one that meant I'd be expected to understand, to be the bigger person, to not make waves. Back at the table, Aunt Patricia was asking Ashley about her job. Ashley worked in marketing for a pharmaceutical company, made $120,000 a year, from what I'd overheard at Christmas. "It's going really well," Ashley said. "Just got promoted to senior director." "The company's expanding my team." "That's fantastic!" Mom clapped her hands together. "You two are just killing it." Derek grinned. "We're blessed. Working hard, making smart choices. It pays off, you know." He looked at me when he said it. Just for a second. But everyone caught it. The table got quiet. "Derek," my father said, "that's enough." "What?" "I'm just saying, success isn't random. You make good decisions. You get good results." He shrugged. "Some people get that, some people don't." I took a sip of water. Set the glass down carefully. Monica's husband spoke up. "Sarah, didn't you just get some kind of certification for work?" "Project management," I said. "PMP certification. Finished it in February." "That's great," Vanessa said. "Those are supposed to be really hard." Derek waved his fork dismissively. "Certificates are fine, but they're not the same as real-world success. I'm talking about tangible results. Property ownership, career advancement, financial stability." Ashley nodded along. "Derek's just passionate about seeing family members reach their potential." "Right," Derek said. "And sometimes that means having hard conversations." "Sarah, I say this with love, you're not going to get anywhere if you keep making excuses." "What excuses?" I asked. My voice was calm. Quiet. "Oh, come on, my apartment works for me." The certification was hard. You're always positioning yourself as the underdog instead of actually doing something about it. 12 adults were watching now. Even the kids had gotten quiet, sensing the tension. "What should I do?" I asked. Still, calm, Derek leaned back in his chair. "For starters, stop asking the family to solve your problems. Stand on your own 2 feet. Make a 5-year plan. Start investing. Buy property. You know what successful people do?" I nodded slowly, pulled my phone from my pocket. "Oh, perfect." Derek laughed. "Check your phone instead of engaging with the conversation." Classic, Sarah. I opened my banking app, pulled up the spreadsheet I'd been maintaining since 2021. 43 months of detailed records. "You're right," I said, looking up at him. "I do depend on family a lot." Derek's smile was triumphant. "See? That's what I'm talking about. Self-awareness." I turned my phone toward him. The screen showed a spreadsheet with 3 columns. Date, recipient, amount. "Since January 2021, I said, my voice perfectly steady, "I've provided $144,847 in financial support to this family." The table went dead silent. Derek's smile froze. "What?" I scrolled down. "Your mortgage payment." $2,847 a month. I've paid it for 43 months. That's $122,421. Ashley's face had gone pale. That's not Dad's medical bills from his surgery in 2022. $8,200. Mom's car repair in 2023. $3,100. Monica's son's orthodontist bill. $4,800. Your homeowner's insurance, Derek. $6,326 for the year. Derek stood up. You're lying. I pulled up the bank statements, showed the transfers, everyone dated, documented, categorized. You asked Dad to co-sign your mortgage, I said, looking at Derek. The bank wouldn't approve you a loan. Your D2 income ratio was too high. Dad was going to say no because he couldn't afford the risk at his age. Mom had her hand over her mouth. I called the bank, I continued, made a deal. A deal, I'd make the monthly payments directly to the mortgage company. Dad's name would be on the loan, but I'd cover it. The bank agreed because I showed them my income statements. Why would you? Derek started. Because Dad asked me to. He said you'd just bought the house and Ashley was pregnant with Emma. He said you'd get on your feet soon and I could stop. That was February 2021. I looked at my father. He wouldn't meet my eyes. You told me 3 months. Primera Sahid to him. You said Derek just needed help through the transition. 3 months became 6. 6 became a year. I kept paying because you asked me to and I didn't want to cause problems. Sarah, we can explain, Mom tried. The medical bills were supposed to be covered by insurance, I said. We were going to. Dad's voice was rough. Mom's car. The transmission. $3,100. Monica's son's, Breeze's, $4,800 when Monica was between jobs. Derek's homeowner's insurance when you forgot to budget for it. Christmas gifts for the kids for the past 3 years because both you and Monica said money was tight. I scrolled through the spreadsheet. Every entry was color-coded. Green for housing, blue for medical, yellow for automotive, red for miscellaneous. I did the math, I said. Since 2021, I've spent $144,847 supporting this family. That's an average of $3,368 per month. And in all that time, no one asked me if I could afford it. No one asked how I was managing. No one thought to say thank you. Derek's jaw was working. You never said. I never said because every time I tried to bring up money, I was told I was being selfish. Remember Thanksgiving 2022? Derek, I mentioned maybe pausing the mortgage payments for a few months. You said primera why sa Nico and diming family and making everything about money. Ashley's eyes were wide. We didn't know she was Derek. You didn't tell me because I didn't know. Derek's voice cracked. Dad said the mortgage was handled. It was handled, Dad said quietly. B. Sarah. B. Sarah. Uncle Jim set down his fork. Jesus Christ. I asked for help with my taxes, I said, looking at Derek, because I was trying to figure out if I could deduct family support as a gift. I asked Dad to look at my car because I could afford to take it to a mechanic after paying your mortgage that month. I asked Mom to help with my resume because I was applying for a second job to cover the medical bills. The room was absolutely silent now. Even the kids weren't making noise. And this morning, I said, when you called me dependent and said I was always asking for help, I was debating whether to tell you, whether to explain, whether to defend myself. I looked around the table, 12 adults who'd nodded along while Derek criticized me. But you're right about one thing, I said. I do need to make better decisions. I opened my banking app, pulled up the automatic payment screen. What are you doing? Derek's voice was sharp. Making a decision. I canceled the automatic mortgage payment to Derek's lender. The screen confirmed. Recurring payment canceled. Next scheduled payment on April 5th will not be processed. Derek's phone buzzed in his pocket. I canceled the monthly transfer to my father's account, the one that covered the cushion for Mama's household expenses. Mom's phone buzzed on the table. I canceled the standing payment to Monica's account, the one ID set up when she asked for temporary help with groceries that had lasted 18 months. Monica's phone started ringing. "Stop," Derek said. "Stop. We can talk about this." "I'm done talking," I said. I stood up, phone still in my hand. For 4 years, I've listened to how I'm not successful enough, not ambitious enough, not financially stable enough, and the whole time, I've been paying for your lives. "Sarah, please." Mom reached for my hand. I stepped back. "Do you know why I'm still in that 950 square foot apartment? Because $2,847 a month would have covered a mortgage on a 3-bedroom house in a good school district. Do you know why I drive a 2014 Honda with 140,000 miles? Because I've been paying for Derek's homeowner's insurance instead of a car payment." Ashley was crying now. "We'll pay you back, with what?" I looked at her. "Derek's car payment is $680 a month. Your student loans are $430. You spend $1,200 a month on the kids' activities and another $800 on Ashley's Peloton subscription and ClassPass membership." Derek's face was red. "How do you know?" "Because I've been covering the gap in your budget for 4 years. You think I didn't notice where the money was going? I can tell you exactly what you spend because I've been subsidizing every dollar." I pulled up another file on my phone. "You want to talk about building equity and financial planning? I've run the numbers. In 4 years, I've given this family what would have been a 35% down payment on a $415,000 house. I've given you my financial future." Aunt Patricia was staring at my parents. "You let her do this." "We didn't ask her to," Dad started. "Yes, you did." My voice cut through. "You asked me every single time. Just this once. Just until we get back on our feet. Just to help family. And I said yes every time because I thought that's what family did." I looked at Derek. "You want to know why?" I asked Dad to look at my car, because after I paid your March mortgage, I had $340 left for the month. I couldn't afford a mechanic. I was eating peanut butter sandwiches for dinner and you were hosting dinner parties with quartz countertops. Derek's mouth opened. Nothing came out. "And you," I turned to Monica, "when I helped you move last month, I took 2 personal days from work and paid because I'm out of PTO. You know why I'm out? Because I worked through Christmas to earn overtime to cover your son's orthodontist bill." Monica was crying silently, mascara running. "Sarah, we didn't know it was this bad," Mom whispered. "Because you didn't ask. None of you asked. You just took." I picked up my purse from the back of the chair. "The mortgage payment that was scheduled for April 5th. Derek's mortgage company will notify you in 3 to 5 business days that it won't be processed." Derek's phone buzzed again. He pulled it out with shaking hands, stared at the screen. "That's the mortgage company," I said. "Automated notification that a scheduled payment was canceled. You'll want to call them tomorrow. Set up a new payment method." I walked toward the door. "Sarah, wait." Dad stood up. "We can fix this. We'll make a payment plan. Well, you'll figure it out," I said, turning back. "You're successful adults who make smart decisions, right? You've got this." "Don't be like this," Derek said, his voice desperate now. "We're family." I stopped at the door, looked back at the table covered in food I'd helped prepare, the family who'd sat there while Derek called me dependent. "You're right," I said. "We are family. And that's why this hurts so much, because I would have helped you forever if you'd just treated me with basic respect. But you didn't want a sister or a daughter. You wanted an ATM who wouldn't talk back." Aunt Patricia stood up. "Sarah, hold on. I didn't know about any of this, none of you did, because no one asked. You just assumed I was failing while you were succeeding." I opened the door. "Enjoy dinner. I made the green beans myself. They're really good." I was in my car before anyone could follow me, watched in the rearview mirror as Derek came out on the porch, phone pressed to his ear. Probably calling the mortgage company, probably realizing that their next payment was in 11 days, and they didn't have $2,847 in their checking account. My phone started ringing before I'd pulled out of the driveway. "Mom, I declined the call. Then Monica declined. Then Derek declined. I drove to my 950 square foot apartment in Riverside, the one with the broken dishwasher I'd been meaning to fix but couldn't afford. The one with the second-hand couch from Facebook Marketplace and the bed frame I'd assembled myself. I sat on that couch and opened my banking app again. My phone wouldn't stop ringing. I turned it off. The first email came Tuesday morning. Derek. Subject line, "We need to talk." I deleted it without reading. The second came Tuesday afternoon. Monica. Subject line, "Please call me back." Deleted. Wednesday, Mom sent a text from Dad's phone. I'd blocked hers. "Your father wants to apologize. Please come to dinner this weekend." I didn't respond. Thursday, my bank notified me of an attempted reversal on one of the canceled payments. Someone had tried to reactivate the automatic transfer to Derek's mortgage company. I called the bank, confirmed it was fraudulent, and changed all my security questions. Friday afternoon, my doorbell rang. I looked through the peephole. Derek and Ashley, standing on my doorstep. Derek was holding flowers. Gas station flowers, still in the plastic sleeve. I didn't open the door. "Sarah, we know you're in there." Derek's voice was muffled through the door. "Your car's here. Please, just talk to us for 5 minutes." I sat on my couch, waited. "We're sorry," Ashley called out. "We didn't know. We thought we just didn't know." After 10 minutes, they left. The flowers stayed on my doorstep. I let them wilt there for 3 days before throwing them away. 2 weeks after Easter, my phone rang from a number I didn't recognize. Against my better judgment, I answered. "Sarah, it's Aunt Patricia." I almost hung up. "Please don't hang up," she said quickly. "I'm not calling to convince you to help them. I'm calling because I want you to know that I believe you." I sat down. "Okay. I talked to your father. He admitted everything, the mortgage payments, the medical bills, all of it." Her voice was tight with anger. "I had no idea they were using you like this." "No one did. I should have asked. I saw you at every holiday, always helping, always in the background, and I assumed you were okay." She paused. "That's not an excuse." "I should have asked." "It's fine," I said automatically. "It's not fine, and I'm not going to tell you it is." Aunt Patricia took a breath. "I called because I want you to know something. My husband and I talked. We know what you did for this family, and we know what it cost you. If you need anything, a reference, a loan to get back on your feet, a place to stay, you call me. Not because you're family, because you deserve support from people who won't take advantage of you." My throat was tight. "Thank you." "Also," she said, her voice going harder, "I told your mother that if she keeps pressuring you to forgive Derek and move past this, she won't be seeing me or my kids anymore. What they did to you was financial abuse. I'm not going to pretend it wasn't." I closed my eyes. "You didn't have to do that." "Yes, I did." Someone needed to say it out loud. She paused. "How are you doing?" "Really? I'm okay. Better than I expected, actually." "Good. You keep being okay. And if they keep harassing you, you document it. You hear me? Document everything. Just in case." We talked for another 20 minutes. When he hung up, I realized I was crying. Derek's mortgage company sent him a foreclosure warning at the end of April. No, because Monica called me from a new number blocked new and left a voicemail begging me to reconsider. "His credit is going to be destroyed," she sobbed into the phone. "They have 2 kids. Sarah? 2 little girls. How can you do this to them?" I saved the voicemail, just in case I needed it later. In May, I got a call from a lawyer's office. My stomach dropped when the receptionist said she was calling on behalf of Derek Thompson. "We're not suing you," the lawyer said when she got on the line. "I'm calling because your brother hired me to draft a payment plan. He wants to start paying you back. I don't want his money. I understand, but he asked me to call anyway." I laughed. Actually, laughed. He can't afford his mortgage without my help, but he thinks he can afford an extra $1,000 a month. The lawyer was quiet for a moment. "Between you and me?" I told him the same thing, but he insisted. "Tell him no." Can I ask why? This is a significant amount of money. Most people would want, because I don't want to spend the next 15 years watching him miss payments and having to chase him down. I don't want the connection. I just want to be done. Understood. I let him know. Wait, I said. Tell him something else. Tell him that if he'd just apologized at Easter, if he'd stopped talking and listened, I might have worked something out. But he didn't. He tried to minimize it, make excuses, and then sent his wife to my door with gas station flowers. Tell him I don't forgive people who aren't actually sorry. The lawyer sighed. I'll tell him. And for what it's worth, I've seen a lot of family financial situations. What they did to you was exploitation. You don't owe them forgiveness. June brought my performance review at work. My manager, Karen, closed her office door and sat across from me with a smile. So, she said, I've been noticing something over the past few months. My stomach tightened. You seem different. More focused. You're staying late less, but your work quality has actually improved. You volunteered to lead the Morrison project. You're speaking up more in meetings. She leaned forward. What changed? I thought about how to answer that. I stopped letting people take advantage of me. Karen's eyebrows went up. Good for you. That's exactly the kind of boundary setting we like to see in leadership. She slid a folder across the desk. Which brings me to this. We're promoting you to senior project manager. 15% raise, effective immediately. And we'd like you to start training for a director-level role. I stared at the offer letter. The salary was $20,000 more than I'd been making. I don't know what to say. Say yes. You've earned this, Sarah. You've been carrying this team for years. It's time we recognize that properly. I signed the paperwork in her office. When I got back to my desk, I pulled up my banking app and transferred $5,000 to savings. Then I scheduled a test drive for Saturday at the Honda dealership. 4th of July weekend, Vanessa texted me, family barbecue at Mom and Dad's? Will you come? Will Derek be there? Yes. Then no. I figured. Want to grab lunch instead? Just us. We met at a restaurant halfway between our apartments. She hugged me hard when I arrived. You look good, she said, pulling back to study my face. Really good. I feel good. Over salads and iced tea, she filled me in on the family gossip. Derek and Ashley had refinanced their mortgage at a higher interest rate, the only lender willing to work with them given their recent payment history. Monica had picked up a second job. Dad's retirement account had taken a hit because he had to pull out money early to cover some of Mom's expenses. They're all struggling, Vanessa said carefully. I want you to know that, but also, she met my eyes. They did this to themselves. I know. Do you really? Because Mom keeps saying you abandoned the family, and I do want you to start believing that. I shook my head. I'm not abandoning anyone. I'm just not funding their lives anymore. Good. She squeezed my hand. Because what they did to you was fucked up. And Patricia told everyone what really happened. Half the family isn't speaking to your parents. Uncle Jim called your dad a parasite. It was brutal. I didn't want stop. You didn't do anything wrong. They exploited you for years and then mocked you for it. They deserve whatever social consequences come from that. We ate in comfortable silence for a few minutes. So, Vanessa said, what are you doing with all that extra money every month? I smiled. I bought a car, 2024 Honda Accord. First time I've ever had a car with less than 100,000 miles on it. Hell yes! And I'm looking at condos, nothing huge, but something with 2 bedrooms. An actual kitchen, maybe a small balcony. That's amazing. You deserve it. I also started therapy, I admitted, trying to figure out why I let it go on so long. Vanessa nodded. That's smart. How's it going? Hard. But good. My therapist said what they did to me fits the pattern of financial abuse in families. The normalization, the guilt, the gradual escalation. I'm learning to recognize it. Are you glad you stopped paying? I thought about it every single day. August, Derek's oldest daughter's birthday party. Monica sent me an invitation even though I'd made it clear I wasn't attending family events. I didn't respond. The day of the party, Aunt Patricia texted me a photo. It was the backyard of Derek's house, modest setup with grocery store cupcakes and Dollar Tree decorations. Nothing like the elaborate themed parties they used to throw. Thought you should see. AirTech sighed. Real consequences. I stared at the photo. Part of me felt guilty. Lily was 8. Now, she didn't ask for any of this. But another part of me, the part that had been growing stronger since Easter, knew that those consequences were my responsibility. Derek had spent years living above his means on my dime. His daughters deserved better than parents who exploited family members, even if it meant smaller birthday parties. I texted Patricia back. Thanks for the update. How are her parents doing? Ashley picked up freelance work. Derek's stressed. They're in marriage counseling. Good. You really don't feel bad? I thought about it. I feel bad for the kids. But Derek and Ashley are learning the same lesson. I had to learn that you co-build a lot on someone else's money. Better they learn it now. September brought another call from an unknown number. This time, it was my mother. Sarah, please. Your father's birthday is next month. He's turning 70. Can't you put this aside for one day? No. He's your father. And I'm his daughter, the one he asked to pay his son's mortgage for 4 years and then let that son humiliate me at Easter dinner. He didn't know Derek was going to. He sat there and said nothing. He let it happen. Mom's voice cracked. He wants to apologize. Then he can write me a letter. I'm not coming to dinner. Sarah, please. This is tearing the family apart. No, Mom, what is tearing the family apart is the fact that you all used me as a bank for 4 years and thought I'd never notice or never care. This isn't my fault. This is the consequence of your choices. When did you become so cold? That stopped me. Is that what you think? That I'm cold? You used to be so sweet, so helpful. Now, you won't even I'm exactly as sweet as I was before. The difference is that now I'm sweet to people who don't exploit me. I paused. Do you know what I did for my birthday this year? Mom? She was quiet. I took myself to a spa, got a massage, sat in a hot tub for an hour. Then I went to a nice restaurant and ordered the most expensive thing on the menu. And you know what? I could afford it. Because I was unpaying Derek's mortgage, or Dad's medical bills, or Monica's grocery money. We would have paid you back. You had 4 years. You never even tried. That's not fair. You're right. It's not fair. Nothing about this is fair. But it's done. And I'm not going to Dad's birthday dinner. I hung up before she could respond. October. My dad's birthday came and went. Aunt Patricia sent me a photo from the party, smaller than usual, at a restaurant instead of their house. Apparently they couldn't afford to host anymore. I didn't feel guilty. What I felt was free. November. The week before Thanksgiving, I got an email from Derek. Subject line: I understand now. Against my better judgment, I opened it. Sarah, I'm writing this from our therapist's office. Ashley's here. We've been talking about what happened, and I need you to know something. I understand now. Not just what we did to you financially, but what I did to you emotionally. The therapist asked me to imagine if someone had spent 4 years paying my bills and then mocked me for being financially dependent. Asked me how I'd feel. I'd feel destroyed. That's what I did to you. I destroyed you at Easter dinner in front of our whole family, and I did it while you were literally paying for my life. There's no excuse for that. None. Ashley and I lost the house. We couldn't make the payments. We're renting now, in a smaller place. The girls share a room. It's hard. But it has taught me something I should have learned a long time ago. And build a life I can afford. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I'm not asking for money. I just needed you to know that I finally understand what I did, and I'm sorry. Really, truly, sorry. Your brother, Derek. I read it 3 times. Then I closed my laptop and went to the kitchen where my new boyfriend, Marcus, the guy I'd met at a project management conference in July, was making dinner. "Everything okay?" he asked, looking up from the cutting board. "Yeah," I said. "Just Derek finally apologizing. How do you feel about that?" "I don't know yet, but I know I don't have to decide right now." He kissed my forehead. "No, you don't." We ate dinner on my new couch in my new condo, the 2-bedroom with the balcony and the kitchen island ID closed on in September. Through the window, I could see the city lights. My 2024 Honda Accord parked in my assigned spot. My phone buzzed. "Mom, inviting me to Thanksgiving." I looked at Marcus. "My family wants me to come to Thanksgiving. Do you want to go?" "I don't know. Part of me thinks I should. Part of me thinks it's too soon." "What does your therapist say?" "That I should only go if I want to, not because I feel obligated." "So, do you want to?" I thought about it. The truth was, I didn't. Not because I was angry anymore, that had faded months ago, but because I'd built something new in the absence of my family's constant needs. I'd built a life that belonged to me. "No," I said. "I don't want to go." "Then don't." So I didn't. Thanksgiving Day, Marcus and I volunteered at a community kitchen, serving meals to people who needed them. Then we came back to my condo and made our own dinner, nothing fancy. Just roast chicken and vegetables, and a pumpkin pie from the bakery down the street. My phone stayed silent most of the day. Then, around 8 p.m., Aunt Patricia sent me a photo. It was the family dinner table. Smaller than I remembered. Derek and Ashley weren't there. Monica looked tired. My parents looked older. "They asked me to send this," her text said, "to show you what you're missing." I looked at the photo for a long time. Then I sent one back, Marcus and me on my balcony, wine glasses raised, the city lights behind us. "Thanks," I texted, "but I'm not missing anything." December. Christmas cards started arriving. One from Mom and Dad. One from Monica. One from Derek and Ashley with a photo of their girls. I put them in a drawer without opening them. What I did open was the card from Aunt Patricia, with a note inside. "Proud of you for choosing yourself. Come to our New Year's party." I went. Marcus came with me. Vanessa was there with her boyfriend. Uncle Jim spent 20 minutes telling me about his new boat. No one mentioned Derek or my parents. At midnight, when everyone counted down and popped champagne, I looked around at the people who'd stood by me, who'd believed me, who'd let me set boundaries without making me feel guilty. This was family, not the one I was born into, but the one I'd chosen. Marcus kissed me at midnight. "Happy New Year." "Happy New Year," I said back. And it was epilogue. 18 months after that Easter dinner, I sat in a coffee shop with Vanessa, showing her photos from the vacation Marcus and I had just taken to Portugal. "This is incredible," she said, scrolling through pictures of coastline and cobblestone streets. "How long were you gone?" 2 weeks. "First real vacation I've taken in 6 years. You look so happy." "I am happy." She handed back my phone. "Derek asked about you last week. At Mom's birthday." "What did he say?" "Asked if you were seeing anyone. If you were doing okay." I told him you were great and that he should probably focus on his own life. "How is he doing?" Vanessa shrugged. "Better, I think. They're managing. He's stopped asking family for money. Ashley's working full-time. The girls are okay." She paused. "Do you ever think about reaching out to him?" "So, many times. But then I remember that I spent 4 years being invisible to him, and he only noticed me when the money stopped. I stirred my coffee. Maybe, someday, but not today." "That's fair." We sat in comfortable silence for a moment. "You know what's weird? Primera, S.I. I thought cutting them off would make me feel lonely, but I've never felt less alone. Because you're not constantly exhausted from being used." "Exactly." My phone buzzed. Marcus, asking what I wanted for dinner. I smiled and texted back, then looked up at Vanessa. "I have to go. Dinner plans. With Marcus and his sister and her husband. They're visiting from Chicago." Vanessa grinned. "Look at you. meeting the extended family. It's terrifying. You'll be great. Just be yourself. The real yourself. Not the one who tries to earn love by paying for everything. I hugged her goodbye and walked to my car, the Honda Accord. ID bought with money that used to go to my brother's mortgage. Drove to my condo, the one I'd purchased with the down payment I'd saved over 8 months. Met Marcus and his family for dinner paid for with money I'd earned and did untold to anyone. And later that night, lying in bed next to Marcus in the 2-bedroom condo with the balcony, I thought about Easter dinner, about Derek's face when I'd showed him the spreadsheets, about the phones buzzing at the table. I didn't feel angry anymore. I didn't feel guilty. I just felt free. And that was worth more than $144,847 could ever buy.